I think here, it, what is the part of it? You want only one part of it? 4, 4, 5. Still, you want the same part. 4, 4? Yeah, 4, 4, 5. Happening to the good post now, right? One minute delay. Okay. Okay, ada. Okay. Hey, sure. Now you going back to the video. So, yeah, it's not like the website. Website can see that for the live today. Then my one the personal website. No, your application is access by the website. So, yeah.
Ni untuk live feed ya. Ni live feed ni. Clear. STD tak? Logistik. Lagi tak HD lah. Ni HD pun. Ini installation. Lagi dia punya water. Dia cakap dengan hijau tu. Okay. Dia ada sekali-sekali dengan mic. Saya pun video dah buat. Saya cinematic buat. Cinematic.
Ini speech to then token of appreciation.
Please be standing for the entrance of the audience. Honorable guests to be Secretary General of Treasury Ministry of Finance, Malaysian Chairman of Malaysian Innovation and Creativity Center of Mention. Dr. Trevor Wilson, Earl Vice Chancellor, Emily Russell University UK. Professor Muhammad Aswas, Dean and Earl Vice Chancellor, Leeds Beckett University UK. Professor Dr. Andrew Chambers, Professor Emeritus of Corporate Governance, London City University. Mr. Balbir Singh Mahal, Group CEO at FTMSGLOBAL. And Dr. Sajid Alibata, CEO and Principal at FTMS College Malaysia and ASCENT 2015 International Conference Chairman. Good morning to everyone. Please be upstanding for the entrance of our dignitaries. Honorable Sri Millions, Malaysia and Chairman of Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Center of Mention. Yes. Good morning to everyone. Please be upstanding for the entrance of our dignitaries. Honorable guest, Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Irwan Senegal Abdullah, Secretary General of Treasury, Ministry of Finance Malaysia, and Chairman of Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Center are matching. Dr. Trevor Bolton, Pro Vice Chancellor, Anglia Ruskin University, UK. Muhammad Dasbaz, Dean and Pro Vice Chancellor, Leeds Beckett University, UK. Professor Dr. Andrew Chambers, Professor Emeritus of Corporate Governance, London City University. Mr. Balbir Singh Mangan, Group CEO, FTMS Global. And Dr. Sajilam Divakran, CEO and Principal, FTMS Global College Malaysia, and ASCENT 2015 International Conference Chairman.
Distinguished delegates, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It gives me great pleasure in extending a very warm welcome on behalf of FTMS Global to ASCENT 2015 International Conference, a scholarly conference on emerging trends in business, computing and education, in association with Leeds Beckett University and with the support of the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia and Malaysian Convention and Exhibition Bureau, Ministry of Tourism Malaysia. It's a great pleasure to have our distinguished guests here with us today at FTMS Global Technology Park Malaysia campus, and we warmly welcome all of you here. It is gratifying to note that the agenda of the conference covers a wide range of latest topics related to emerging trends in computing, business and education. I sincerely hope that this ASCENT 2015 International Conference will provide a platform for researchers, practitioners and professionals from business, academia and government, and we will fulfill the stated objectives of the conference. As to begin the ceremony, I would request all delegates to rise and we proceed with the national anthem. Please rise. Thank you all. Please be seated. I call upon Mr. Balbir Singh Mangan, CEO, FTMS Global, to give a welcome speech.
It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to ASCENT 2015, our international conference on emerging trends in computing, business, and education. I am especially pleased to offer a special welcome to our guest of honor, Tan Sri Dato' Muhammad Irwan Sregar Abdullah. Tan Sri assumed the position of Chairman of Malaysian Global Innovation and Creative Center, MAGIC, which very appropriate that he is the guest of honor for this conference. I also welcome representatives from our university collaborating partners, Dr. Trevor Bolton, Pro Vice Chancellor, Lord Ashford International Business School, Anglia Ruskin University, Professor Mohammad Dashbaz, Dean and Pro Vice Chancellor, Faculty of Arts, Environment, Technology, Leeds Beckett University. I'm also very pleased to be here today, although it was a 3:45 wake-up call to get up and fly down to Singapore this morning. I'm pleased to be here with you and attending the third ASCENT conference. This conference is very much part of FTMS objectives to provide quality education for our students, but also importantly, to lay the foundation of creativity, innovation, and a broader network of individuals working together from various corners of the world. As FTMS develops, and it's very important to note that we strive to ensure that we maintain the same quality standards throughout all our campuses, which operate from Uganda to China. In Malaysia in particular, we, as part of Ministry of Higher Education's assessment, recently were awarded a 6-star rating, which was judged to be outstanding. We recently also attained the MSc status, Multimedia Super Corridor status in Malaysia, and that gives us opportunities for further enhancing our research and develop the use of technologies within the group. FTMS, as most or some of you may know, that began by delivering professional accounting programs 28 years ago. Very much so that every center of FTMS in the professional particular hub and spoke model we have developed, where the hubs are very much embedded with academic programs that range from diploma to master's levels. We are proud that in Malaysia, we attract students from over 50 countries to be part of this, I would call it a melting pot. Today, the student numbers in our campuses average in a year 15,000. We have the last 3 years also set up a significant initiative in India to develop the Indian centers, and we're hoping within the next 3 years to have close to 15 centers in India. Very importantly, part of our enterprise is to ensure that not only that we develop individuals to the highest levels with quality qualifications, and we're proud that every individual in FTMS student body, the promise is that once you graduate, if you do not find a job in 6 months, we will ensure that you get a job. And to date, I'm proud to say that we have hardly any number that come up after 6 months to say they don't have a job, which means every individual, the employability is there. Not only I think that we ensure employability, but I call it the melting pot, where you obtain your qualifications. We also enable you to harness opportunities to conferences, to the networks that we push ourselves to set and be part of. The opportunities range from educational business links that can lead to partnerships. Recently, I was talking to a cohort of MBA graduates, and there were 2 students from Mongolia, 1 student from Italy, 2 students from India, starting a particular business model, which I believe, I think when it's put in place, will have significant benefits for the 5 individuals. It covers 2 continents and very large European hinterland, South Asia, and Mongolia, China. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people to meet and harness opportunity. That is the fact that our graduates are also equipped to be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, not just from the name perspective, but have laid strong foundations to be creative, to be innovative, but very importantly, also to persevere and be focused to achieve their objectives. Today's conference adds another significant element in terms of technological advancements, which very importantly, to enable you to be a world leader, you need to take advantage of technology. I hope one day during my lifetime, an FTMS graduate group will lead to a multi-billion-dollar project somewhere, someday. If this is achieved during my lifetime, I, one thing for sure, will be a very, very happy person. With this, I'd like to thank each and every one of you as you spend the next 2 days melting pot. Please ensure you not only let your head down, but the ideas that you will generate, and leave nothing unturned to ensure that the seeds are sown for yourselves. And thank you, and enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Mr. Balbir Singh Mangat. Without further delay, I would like to call upon Dr. Sujimal Devakran, CEO and Principal, FTMS College Malaysia, and ASCENT 2015 International Conference Chairman, to deliver his speech.
Guest of honor, dignitaries, researchers, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning. As chairman and on behalf of organizing committee, I'm honored and delighted to welcome all to the opening of the third international conference, ASCENT 2015. The series of ASCENT conferences aimed at reinforcing scientific and technological collaboration between the universities, industry, government, and research scholars is known for providing state-of-the-art information on current and future research activities, strategies, and projects around the globe with presentations from a variety of international speakers and researchers. Today, in this hall, we have delegates from 30 countries, including UK, China, Vietnam, South Africa, India, Indonesia, and Singapore. We have received a good response from almost all Malaysian states as well. We have a high level of representation from the government, universities, industries around the world. Thank you for coming here from near and far to part in our discussion over 2 days. This third international conference is unique for many reasons. The conference has received participation from 302 lead authors and co-authors for oral presentation, poster presentation, and virtual presentation. The committee selected 60 papers for publication in journal and the remaining papers for publication in proceedings in the 3 volumes. I am pleased and proud to inform that our lecturers and students are actively involved in research activities and the participation of this conference by presenting the papers. I am also pleased to be able to announce that our international journals, the International Journal for Information Systems and Engineering, the International Journal for Accounting and Business Management, and the International Journal for Education, Learning and Training will contain papers from this conference. To all of the editorial board and reviewers, I give my personal thanks to all effort. Let us now continue to work, started and achieve the impact factor that this journal deserves. The editorial team welcomes your suggestions to help improve the journals. Therefore, please do not hesitate to contact us with your ideas and feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, during these 2 days of the conference, there will be special talk sessions with specially invited speakers from abroad. The intention of FTMS remains to become a full-fledged R&D center, investigating the latest trend in IT, business, and education. This is an ongoing, exciting challenge in the continuing growth of the college. We have an increasing number of master's students in every year. It is extremely important for us to incorporate research culture at the campus. Some research benefits are obvious. For example, benefits of an economic kind, a social kind, of an environmental kind, or of a cultural kind, or health kind. For some research, the benefit may not be so obvious. Nevertheless, it is this research which is the foundation for knowledge that makes possible so much of the innovation and application that provides wider benefit. There is a large element of destiny in research, and we need to acknowledge that for every successful connection between research and application, there are many projects that will not succeed in some way. I take this opportunity to say thank you to all of the members of the organizing team for their effort and to the others representing for their contributions. I also give a sincere thanks to the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia and Leeds Beckett University, Anglia Ruskin University, and University of East London UK for their association. My special thanks to the Malaysian Convention and Exhibition Bureau and Ministry of Tourism Malaysia for extending their support to ASCENT 2015. Special thanks to MAGIC, Malaysian Global Innovation and Creative Center, to participate in this event. Finally, I would like to wish this conference a complete success and wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sajal Devakar. I would like to welcome our chief guest for today, Chancellor Dr. Mohammed Irwan Sarida Abdullah, Secretary General of the Treasury, Ministry of Finance, Malaysia, and Chairman of Malaysian Global Innovation and Creativity Centre, MAGIC, to deliver his speech.
Thank you. This is the first time. First of all, I was asking Mr. Baghe, what does FTMS stands for? So he was telling me for the Malaysian student, because he said it started in Singapore, it became quite well in Singapore, and he thought, why not? FTMS also, is established in Malaysia, and now, congratulations to FTMS, they are in 10 countries all over the world. First of all, I'd like to congratulate FTMS for organizing this event, ASCENT 2015 International Research Conference. I agreed to attend and give a speech in this conference because innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship is very close to my heart. I try to really encourage youngsters, to really become successful entrepreneurs. And the topic on innovation integration is a topic which is very current, where people are talking all over. Not only in Malaysia, but also in other parts of the world. A couple of years back, I went to Silicon Valley, where the area, young entrepreneurs, all the, it's like a heaven where people want to go and really become one of them, the creator of new ideas and so on. Well, Silicon Valley developed on itself, on its own. The universities were, built, the private sector just went there, invested, students went there, and we can't create another Silicon Valley in other parts of the world. So I thought, this is where, country like Malaysia, we wait for another 100 years or so, there won't be a Silicon Valley. But working together with the private sector, universities like FTMS, research organizations, and also we can create an ecosystem. This is what I'm doing, creating the ecosystem, for innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship to flourish. There is a lot of things. I'm visiting all the ASEAN countries, the 10 ASEAN countries, because we are the chair of ASEAN this year. I've gone to Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and also will be going to other countries. And if you see the development taking place is so fast, it's incredible, and it's not possible. The region will be the next place where innovation and idea generation will be flourishing. We can even take over, for example, if you take Korea, in the 70s, Korea were below, Malaysia. Even the gross national product, GDP, was below Malaysia. Even football, we beat them 3-0. In everything we were better than the Koreans. But the Koreans, through innovation and creativity, they have overtaken the world. Even they are the best compared to the US now. Although in the US you have iPhones, iPad and so on, equally the Koreans have created Samsung and other gadgets. And it's not impossible. Countries like Malaysia and the ASEAN, if you work together, you will be the next generator of innovation. That's why, we are taking the opportunity this year that we are going to be the chair of ASEAN for the whole year. We are also organizing ASEAN Entrepreneurship Summit. There will be one, in this month from 19th to 22nd at KLCC. I would like to invite all of you to attend because the young entrepreneurs, research organizations, universities from ASEAN region will be coming in March. But there will be a greater or bigger conference, ASEAN Entrepreneurship Summit in November, where all the 10 leaders of ASEAN will bringing together with the Malaysian Prime Minister to speak to the young entrepreneurs, and we intend to, assemble more than 5,000, participants from all over ASEAN. And this is the opportunity, not only the universities, the ASEAN universities, but also the research organizations, individuals, speakers from all over the world will be brought to Malaysia. In fact, innovation is something future. That's why the tagline for the ASEAN Entrepreneurship Summit is futurizing ASEAN entrepreneurs. I don't know whether there is a word called futurizing, but this is what we want to build the future of entrepreneurship within this region. And there is a lot of crossover of technology now. That's why we are thinking, if you create this ecosystem in ASEAN alone, we have 630 million population. And Malaysia itself 30 million, you can't, the market is very small. So you need to go ASEAN and work together so that we can trade among ASEAN and flourish together. When I say there is crossover of technology, for example, even in fashion, if you take LP now, they use graffiti in their design. So there is a mixture, like arts and fashion. And if you take even like Nike shoes and Adidas shoes, they integrate technology. You can even jump higher by wearing the shoes. So technology is combining with fashion, design, and also other things. Even, for example, in development economies, they are dealing with sociologists, anthropologists, and cultural experts to study, understand the human behaviors, and also to develop new ways of doing things. That's why the other thing, we are also focusing on blue ocean strategy, where we don't compete in red ocean when we fight each other, but go to blue ocean, where things are, better, and you don't compete, you create new way of doing things, and you capture the market. This is the way forward, which we are doing in the government itself. A lot of the implementation of programs we are changing. I myself, in the Ministry of Finance, some of the programs which are developed in the 60s, we need to change. It is not relevant to the current situation. Changing the organization. When I took over the treasury, I just rationalized those divisions and sections which are not relevant to the current situation. We need to close down and form new division to be relevant to the whole society and also to the nation. So Malaysia aspires to become a developed nation and a high-income nation by 2020. The only way to achieve this is to really promote innovation and also entrepreneurship. And through entrepreneurship, the income will increase. Rather than working for somebody else, you do your own business, you employ other people, pay them higher salary. This is how we are going to achieve this high-income economy. And when last year Obama came, we took the opportunity to launch why don't you give me the championship? Because the passion is there to develop these young entrepreneurs. That's why we are creating a lot of new things. When I say ecosystem, it's not only idea generation, but you need to create the whole ecosystem. For example, financing. People always complain, especially the young researchers. They say, with ideas alone, if I go to a bank, they won't finance my idea. That's why, we are developing new ways of doing things. Even like IP, when you IP, your idea, you can collateralize IP and use it to obtain loan. This is the way forward, creating new things, how innovation can go to the next level, into a commercially marketable product and really bring the country to the next level. Well, I don't want to keep on talking. What I want to say is that thanks for inviting me, and I hope this 2 days conference will really generate new ideas. And I was told, this FTMS, they have more than students from 50 countries. That's amazing. 50 countries, 50 different culture, ideas, and so on. If you share and work together, you will develop new products and new way of doing things. So I really congratulate the organizers. I sincerely hope that this conference achieves its objective and will come up with concrete recommendations on ways and means of enhancing innovation and integration in the country and also the world. Once again, I thank the conference organizing committee, Mr. GLOBAL, and also Mr. Balbi for inviting me, and wish a very successful and fruitful discussions. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Irwan Sriga Abdullah. I now call upon Professor London City University to deliver.
Distinguished guests and delegates, this conference series, now in its third year, is a significant development. It confirms FTMS as a significant contributor to IT research, business management research, and now education research within Malaysia, the wider region, and indeed internationally. So it assists Malaysia and the region to take a creative, pioneering, and innovative role in these fields, which is so important in this increasingly demanding and connected world. It is an indication that the private sector, as a provider of university education and research at undergraduate, post-experience, and postgraduate levels, can work effectively in partnership with the public sector to achieve high-quality deliverables which benefit from the unique style we so often associate with the private sector, and I think with FTMS in particular. Lastly, and for me perhaps most of all, this conference provides the opportunity for young researchers, who will undoubtedly be tomorrow's leaders, to be alongside experienced researchers, so as to test their work, so as to network with a wider diaspora, and so as to be enriched and progressed by the experience of this conference. And I am sure that the more experienced researchers amongst us will be challenged by the fresh, unprejudiced interventions which come from our younger conference attendants. I too congratulate the organisers of this conference, and I thank all those who will be participating so generously with their time and with their efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Andrew Jennings. I now call upon Dr. Trevor Bolton, Pro Vice Chancellor at the ASCENT University UK, to deliver his speech.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here. It's a very short opening address. This ASCENT 2015 conference, I haven't been to the first or the second one, so I'm very much looking forward to being part of this conference here with you today. It's a great pleasure to send the best wishes of the Vice Chancellor of all colleagues from Anglia Ruskin University, who are a partner of FTMS, and we're very proud to be. So, academic work is done best, I always feel, when it's done in partnership, working alongside other people. And conferences such as this are great opportunities to network, share ideas, make friends, and really learn from each other. Also, I think that it's also important, I think, that academic work is done internationally. It's great that there's such a wide range of people here from different backgrounds to bring perspectives and ideas from their own backgrounds. Look forward to being part of the discussion and debate and presenting my own paper later on. I too thank the organisers and thank everyone else for being here and presenting their papers later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Trevor Bolton. I now call upon Professor Mohammed Dasbaz, Dean and Pro Vice Chancellor of the Expecting University UK, to deliver his speech.
Good morning. Thank you, Trevor. Distinguished guests and colleagues, thank you for inviting me here on behalf of the Expected University. I have to make a confession, it's almost 10 years to this day that I first came here and met Trevor, Angela, and of course I was much younger then. Thank you, Trevor. And it's been a great journey. It's been really fantastic to see the progress FTMS has made as a global provider of education, and now being involved with that really here for such a success. In terms of the theme of the conference, as a professor of computer science, this is very close to my heart. I have been doing research for the past 25 years. I'm going to leave you with a thought as we prepare for the more serious aspects of the conference in terms of discussing the research in the area. But it was perhaps some 25 years ago, as a young researcher, that we were at a conference in London, and we had a visitor from Pennsylvania State University who was going to talk to us about a new emerging technology called the Internet. And we had a presentation at this conference, and he showed us on the screen, he logged into the Library of Congress and showed us the opening times of the Library of Congress, which was very fascinating for me. But I did ask, well, what's the use of this? I'm not in Washington and I won't be going to the Library of Congress. So what's the use of knowing the opening times? Little did we know that 25 years later, the world has changed so much. And as an IT enthusiast, and I'm so pleased to see so many young people here, the Facebook generation, the Twitter generation, that this is the tip of the iceberg. We haven't done what we aim to do, and what is to come is far more exciting than what we have achieved so far. And therefore, as researchers in this area, you are entering a very, very interesting and topical area, and I think it's the right time to do it, and there are a lot more to come. So congratulations, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to the discussion of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Mohammed Dasbaz. I now call upon Dr. Sajil Abdulbakran, CEO of FTMS Global Malaysia, to present appreciation awards to our distinguished guests and university representatives. I call upon Chancellor Dr. Mohammed Srigar Abdullah, Secretary General of Treasury, Ministry of Finance, Malaysia, and Chairman of Malaysia Global Innovation Creativity Centre, to receive the token of appreciation. I call upon Dr. Trevor Bolton, Pro Vice Chancellor at the Ruskin University, to receive the token of appreciation. I call upon Professor Mohammed Dasmaz, Dean and Pro Vice Chancellor at the Becky University UK, to receive the token of appreciation. I call upon Professor Dr. Andrew Chambers, Professor Emeritus of Corporate Governance, London City University UK, to receive token of appreciation. Thank you, Sajila and Balve. I would like to offer a sincere vote of thanks to all of our guests. To Chancellor Dr. Mohammed Srigar Abdullah for honouring the conference with your presence and invigorating and inspiring speech. To Professor Andrew Chambers for your continuous support and advice and guidance. To Dr. Sajila Divakran for your support and direction in bringing this conference to fruition. To the representatives from our partner institutions for your speeches, your presentations, and your continuing support. To the representatives from embassies, high commissions, for your presence today and the support given to this event. To all authors and presenters for your contributions to our journals and participation in the conference. To the conference committee, without whose efforts today would not have been so successful. To all of you for your attendance and participation in the session. Benefited by being here either as a result of knowledge and inspiration that you gained, or because of new directions in thinking and research that you will identify. To all, I thank you for what will be a most thought-provoking and interesting day. Thank you very much. Please enjoy the conference. Okay, so that now concludes the official inauguration ceremony. I request all dignitaries to come forward for a photo session and for all participants to take a short refreshment break. Thank you. Representatives from the media, please come forward if you wish to speak to our guests.
Announcement, the talk session will start after refreshment at 11 o'clock, and plenary session holds sections 1, 2, and 3 would be open at 11:30. Thank you.
Oh,
Function kalau isi saya bervideo semua ada. Jadi kalau nak lebih tempat
Kalau dia nak buat live stream boleh bagi juga. Kalau I satu Ahad nak video.
ya. Tengok tu yang kawan-kawan tengok.
Kalau jalan boleh
Tarik-tarik ni.
in Maya.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our ASCENT 2015. Our first speaker to do his talk this morning is Dr. Mohammed. He's from the Lead Beckett University. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning still. So the first talk is about green information technology. So I'm going to ask, any idea what green information technology is? There is a test involved, if you know. I will make notes. I'm going to be asking questions later. Okay, that's much better. So any idea what green information technology is about? No. Okay, that's good. So I can talk about anything.
and you don't know whether I'm telling you the truth or not. All right. So here's my plan, here's my presentation plan, and I think it'd be useful to give you a bit of a background and context in terms of what green information technology is. And then talk about some of these key central issues and challenges that green information technology means to researchers. I'm going to talk a little bit about future technologies, and there's some interesting stuff here in terms of some of the new developments. And also sum up by saying, well, what do we do next? What is the research in the area of computer science and information technology needs to do? So I'm going to start with, every time you ask people about our time, and this is a big debate, and people say it's difficult times, challenging times, really, really challenging times, really, really difficult times. So I thought to start the presentation, it would be good to come up with a good definition of what a challenging and difficult time is. So I did my research, of course. I did a Google search to see if I can find a good quotation. And here it is. I think that's a good quotation. It says, times are bad, children no longer obey their parents, and everybody's writing a book. I think that's really, really apt. So now, how old do you think this saying is? So it's about 100 before Christ. So it's about 2,000 years old. So as you can see, things haven't changed much. And there are still difficult times. But the idea of developing some green information technology research has been around for quite a while. But I particularly had an interesting encounter last year. I was in Sheffield and doing a presentation at a conference, and I met Elsevier executive editor, Steve Elliott. Elsevier is one of the world leading publishers of scientific books and publications, and he said, Mohammed, we need something on green information technology. Can we do something about it? And I thought, well, all right, so we can have a look at this and see what is the extant body of literature, what is available, and if you look around, there are a number of books available on green information technology, but nothing that is in the research areas. It's, there are more or less basic level entries into describing. So we decided to start a project and come up with a research book in terms of green information technology. And this is my pitch, as I promised Steve. So it came out yesterday. The book has been published yesterday, and it does cover a number of research topics that I'm going to talk to you today on green information technology and what green information technology is all about. So, in terms of giving context and background, when we were looking at the literature, it was actually quite interesting that there isn't much of a history of existing literature to tell you what the history of green IT is, and therefore you need to link this to the history of development of computing and IT. And I think if you look at the history of development over the past 250 years, perhaps you'll find that many researchers will tell you that it is the start of the Industrial Revolution that triggered a lot of new innovations and changes. And I think also significant was that by 1800, the world population just got over 1 billion. As you know, we've now got over 7 billion in terms of population, and therefore significant changes have happened. Now, if you're doing research in computing or anything related to computing, there is a paper you need to read. And it's a very, very short paper. It's about 2.5 pages long. And it was written by a very interesting and visionary character called Vannevar Bush. And it's no relation to the Bush family who became presidents later on, but it's a very innovative
paper. He wrote this paper in 1945. Now, this paper, he was the son of the US president, and after the war, they were asked to come up with a set of innovative and visionary ideas for the next 50, 60 years of development. Now, you read this and tell me whether you recognize this. Now, this talks to you about, this is your mobile phone, this is your, your Nemex, this is your gadget that you have that holds your information, holds your images, holds your digital. This paper, which is available widely on the web, and I recommend that you have a look at it. He talks about everything to do with, what it came to be known as hard disk later on, new photography, storing data, and so on. Really, really interesting stuff. And perhaps it was the beginning of what we call the second industrial revolution and how the technology started to emerge. Now, any idea what the technology looked like in 1945? No. Right, let me show you. So this is one of the first, if you like, digital machines that they were called ENIAC, and it was an interesting project within the US military. I mean, a lot of these innovations have come out of military because there are lots of research funding and money going into military. Now, ENIAC, if you want to compare it to today's gadgets and today's power of computing that we possess, wouldn't even come close to a couple of dollars worth of calculator. But it was called the big brain in 1945. But I think what is also really interesting is that it weighed some 27 tons. And every time there's a rumor that every time they switch this on, the whole city light would go dim because it required so much electricity to, power on. But nevertheless, this was the start of quite significant changes in information technology and how we have been using, IT as a tool that we can't do without. I don't know how many of you have experienced it, but you come out of your house and you forget your mobile, and you actually feel terrible. So I haven't got my mobile. What do I do? I can't go to work. I can't go anywhere. So that's how the technology has changed our life. After, I think this, clearly the innovation by Texas Instruments in coming up with integrated circuit was the big move. That is one of the first transistors built, and that's inside i7 core processors that are in the latest range of PCs and laptops you get. And to give you a sense of the dimension, you're looking at over 4.3 billion transistors that are manufactured to give you the power and the computing power and processing power that you use and you take it for granted. It is a tremendous piece of architecture in terms of IT, and that's where where we are getting quite significant computing power in terms of the things we can do. So, what is green IT and what is the problem? I'll ask you this at the beginning. I think the interesting thing is that if you look, in the 1980s, we just had about over 1 million computers. And that was really developing fast. 1980s saw significant development. But now you look and we've got over 2 billion PCs, laptops, on top of probably around 3 billion smartphones. And that has a tremendous digital footprint in terms of the energy requirements to run these. I don't know if you've noticed, your smartphone, you're probably charging it twice a day. That is energy required for you to do the basics in terms of, making your text messages and phone and check your emails while you're on the go. But it is a tremendous footprint that I think the advent of technology, we tended to ignore it. We thought, with technology, everything would be much better. And therefore, didn't take much notice.
And so this is one part of the problem, the hardware aspect. So there's another part for you. Now, these figures are phenomenal. And just to give you a range of what is there, 48 billion web pages, and that's just the ones that have been indexed by Google. And that data is already very old. Because as we go on a daily basis, these figures change. It's very, very difficult to get a set of figures that tell you exactly how large what we've created is. Google has 900,000 servers scattered in their various sites that index the web and provide you with the engine that, when you do a search for the restaurant down the road and whether you should be buying your stuff in the shop or not. That is a tremendous requirement in terms of the energy to run with. Now, I know here, and I said this earlier on, I used to work with a company in 1990 called Systems 2000. And for those of you who are more savvy, used to build machines which were called really state-of-the-art. They were called 286 Intel CPU. Their speed was 16 megahertz, really fast. We're talking about 3 gigahertz now. The hard disk, which was a new feature on these machines, was 10 megabytes. And it had 624 K of RAM. That was state-of-the-art machine in 1990, going for around $2,000. Now, we are now talking about yottabytes of data, and that's 1,000 with 8 zeros in front of it. That is the amount of data that there is now available, and there is a tremendous price with that to go. So, what is the energy cost of this, you may ask? If you were to imagine, if you were to get a picture of what the internet looks like, this is probably what it looks like. And you will be a very, 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 very small dot in this. That we need to magnify by 1,000 times to even see that. That's what it looks like. And it's powered on, and it's working 24/7, 365 days a week. Because that's how we use it. There isn't a usage pattern. You log in here now, it's people back in the UK, they're asleep. And some of the sad ones are probably looking at this, trying to find it. So that is a tremendous piece of universe we have created, a digital universe that requires significant energy. Now, here's another estimate. So, the ICT requirement is the electricity required for Japan and Germany combined. And that data is already old. 150 terabytes of power required to keep us afloat, to keep us going in terms of the information technology requirement that we have. And that has become a problem. That is now a serious problem for both manufacturers, users, governments, all over the world. We cannot continue this growth and be able to provide the energy requirements to keep this system going. And they have become so dependent on these systems that I don't think you can imagine this being switched off. You wake up tomorrow and suddenly know anything. Oh, how would I do my work? So, some people, and I think researchers are first to be blamed on this. We get very excited about new ideas, cloud computing. And there are people out there who actually think that cloud computing is in clouds. And somehow magically, we're receiving this. So I'm going to demystify that for you and say cloud computing is not in the clouds. It's very much on the ground. And this is what it looks like. This is a data center. One data center that keeps all these data that we use, and you think, your Google email, you think it's in the cloud because you can access it anywhere. You don't need a specific device. It can be in a hotel, it can be in a classroom, it can be on any device you can access your Google email because you don't need a third-party application to run it. It's in the cloud. Well, that's what the cloud looks like. And you can imagine that that needs to be secured, running 24/7, backed up, and online all the time. Otherwise, the whole system will not work. So, what are the challenges? Now, one of the problems we've got is that we still have a lot of old legacy systems around. You look around, you still find those big monitors, big PCs that require a lot of electricity. But hundreds of millions of them are still around. There isn't a very clear legal framework. It's interesting, recently the European Union passed a law making it compulsory for manufacturers to put in intelligent enough pieces of software and hardware into their devices that they automatically switch off when you're not using them. Because that's one of the problems. We get it in our people just leave their computers go. Come back, you don't want to wait to switch it on. Just let it go. You say, well, it sleeps. It's going through hibernation. But it's still using electricity. Still using the power to keep everything going. The question of big data has become a tremendous challenge. Now, it's interesting that the latest data centers and data houses that companies like Microsoft and Google are making, they've been forced to make them next to big dams. I think the latest one is in Colorado, and it's next to the big dam. So the electricity for the data centers are being generated by the dam. So that they reduce the requirements of these data centers on the city and what is being generated electricity. They are being more and more stringent about this. There's also an issue of hardware components being less energy hungry. The technology is available for a smartphone not to require 3 times recharging every day. The technology is available. Intel has developed a new set of chipset called Haswell, which, the current chipset, you actually need to put a fan on top of the processor, otherwise it will heat up, it will blow. You could actually fly a name on it, at least of that one. But so they have gone, towards chipsets that are much more intelligent, much more efficient in terms of the way they deal with energy requirements. So there is an issue of divergence or convergence. One of the big ideas of technology development and devices becoming always ubiquitous and bearable was that we end up with one device. But that hasn't happened. We've ended up with more devices than before. You have the smartphone, the iPad, iPad Air, iPad Air 2, probably iPad Air 3 soon. We need our Samsung smartphone. We need the laptop. Do we need all this? The move was towards convergence, but of course manufacturers make money by selling you different devices. And more importantly, for you to upgrade your previous device to a new one. Otherwise, the whole model collapses. If you don't renew your mobile phone to the latest version, it's a fashion statement. You can always take out your mobile phone and trade with it. If you've got an old Motorola flip phone, which was very great when they came out,
You can't be seen with them. You have to have the latest gadget. So it is a major problem. How do we deal with that? And that's a lot to do with our cultural belief and our ideas of what we do require and what we don't require. Right, looking into the future, some interesting projects that are happening. Have you heard of something called Factory 2? No. Internet of Things? There are loads of ideas. I could have shown you another presentation for probably a couple of hours. I get so excited about some of these new ideas. But I think I'm just going to show you a couple of ideas that really are changing some of the way we do things traditionally. Factory 2 is about manufacturing. Manufacturing is a very costly, process-intensive work that you go through the whole process of creating a product that people may or may not want. You do your market research, do all that business activity behind it before, but it is still, you set up production lines, you set up factories, you set up all these just to produce a new product. So is there an alternative to that? There is. For 3D printing. And it is a fast-growing manufacturing activity. A lot of the high-tech companies actually, if you go on to Microsoft website, you'll see that they've got a whole range of mouse that they've been designing and printing them using 3D and using them and testing them before they actually go into manufacturing. Now, it's a typical 3D printer that creates an object by building layers on top of layers. They used to be a bit more crude because you could only use one set of materials for it, but they are now far more sophisticated. That's an interesting 3D printer. It's almost difficult to tell. Pair of sports and jogging shoes that you can print and test it out before then you go to major print. Now, you could ask, well, what's the point of this? The point of this is that you spare yourself a lot of manufacturing costs because you actually have a product and you can test it out before you mass produce it. So it's a really different concept of production, and it's really quite interesting. We actually got one of the university, and as one of the started printing staff heads, which was quite interesting. We had to stop the night because it was interesting. Right, Internet of Things. Now this is really, really, really interesting right there. Now, we live in a connected world. We are your infrastructure is connected. Now, let me give you an idea. So, since this is this connected world, you think of a very simple project that we could have intelligence, for example, city lights. So it monitors, you've got CCTV almost everywhere these days. So the CCTV feed could monitor whether somebody is using this street or not regularly. And if it's not, dim the light. And if it is being used regularly, put the light on. Now the technology is available. And you can extend that to all sorts of other bits and pieces of information. Everything from how we use the transport system to driving to work. It's an interesting quotation of that here. That says if Canadian motorists avoided just sitting in a traffic jam, for just 3 minutes, that's the impact. That is the impact. 1.4 million tons annually. And that's what we can use the technology. So Internet of Things is a big project. Big companies like Cisco, that do also big companies like Microsoft, they do a lot of work here. And this is the next big thing, Internet of Things. We are all connected, and whether we like it or not,
there's a lot of intelligent data and information available about us and the environment. Now, we started using it for snooping purposes and spying on people. Can we use it for anything more positive? Right, so what are the next research agendas we need to be looking at, that we need to be mindful of? Clearly, more eco-friendly, green software, hardware design is an area. I don't know whether you've noticed or not, these days you use a lot of apps for various things. Probably smartphone has hundreds of apps. Now, a lot of these apps are constantly communicating back and forth without you even knowing it. But they're sending information, receiving information, receiving ads you don't want to see, you're seeing all sorts of things. And that's a problem, because that's what's draining your battery life, because it's constantly using the infrastructure of your phone or any other device. There's also, I don't know if you've seen some of the latest versions of the smartphone that are coming out. How long is the battery going to last? You know, that's actually a positive. If it's more than 6 hours, I say, oh, that's good, because I can work without charging it for 6 hours. If somebody says, oh, it's going to only last for an hour, so I don't know. That's becoming, I think a key feature of a range of new IT products. And I use my phone for 2 or 3 days without requiring it to be charged. I use my laptop, I use my iPad for 2 or 3 days without being so. There is the possibility of much more intelligent research, hardware and software design to be able to overcome this. Now, intelligent energy usage and monitoring is an interesting area. We've got a chapter in the book that was produced by Honeywell for us. They are one of the largest global companies in terms of both IT and energy. One of the areas they're working with is what they call the grid energy and intelligent distribution and monitoring of this. Now, especially large buildings, large factories, large corporations have a lot of excess energy, electricity that they don't use. And then looking at the UK government introduced this a few years ago so that you can put your energy back on the grid and you get paid for it. And other people could use it. So if you create that intelligent environment where you can put back your energy on the grid and somebody else use it, then you're reducing the energy requirement that is needed to be produced in the first place. And that's a really major area of research where, especially in European countries, it's happening now and it's available. Now, eco-cloud and developing green and environmentally friendly data centers is another area. There's a lot of pressure on big companies that will really, while we are users of big data, and I'll show you how big the big data is. We have to have a much more environmentally friendly cloud and data centers, and I think there's a lot of pressure both from the public and companies to do that. And finally, this is the big thing: smart living. Now, those of you, and I can see a lot of young people here who are YouTube savvy and Facebook savvy, and will be tweeting and WhatsApping as we speak. There are a number of interesting videos online on what smart city and smart living are. Have a look at them. This is about, your home being very smart. In UK or British Gas provides you with an app that you can control your heating from wherever you are. So if you want your heating to go down before you go home, you can switch it down and an hour before going back home, you can use the app to switch on the heating and warm up the place. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Smart living is a big area of research and integrated environment, where your glass is your monitors and you can take intelligent data of it, is already available as the have a look. So, a lot to think about and a lot to emphasize in terms of the responsibilities we have as researchers, because we can't just be passive receivers of information. The whole idea of research is that we need to be challenging. This is how big discoveries are made. Somebody who's doing a PhD, your job is not to recite the literature, it's to critically analyze it, critically challenge it, to pose new questions, to pose new ideas, and that's what makes an interesting research project, rather than just following what the trend has been. So I'm going to leave you with some thoughts from another great thinker that started by challenging the conventions. And I think that, say that some 60 years ago, is an interesting, you can imagine where we are today. And therefore we do have that interesting challenge. We are living in a very, very, very interesting time. I think you're very lucky, because if you imagine, and I mentioned this earlier this morning, how fast we've moved over the last 25 years. The speed at which we will develop the next 25 years is going to be much, much, much faster than the last 25 years. So to imagine where we would be in 25 years is very exciting. And you're lucky to be in an area where it is happening so fast. So thank you for listening. I hope I've left you with a number of interesting ideas and questions. That's a sign of a good present.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we have a chance to have a question and answer portion with Dr. Mohammed. So anyone who has questions, please stand up and feel free.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Abdul Wahab. I'm a student of FTMSGLOBAL in India. I'm doing my research on Internet of Things, as you heard from the stage. So you said about smart cities, that the lights can dim and everything. I'm sure it has a lot of benefits. But when you say everything gets connected, one thing to another, another thing to another, that develops a chain of different things connected, aren't we increasing the risk of security, privacy, and some of the another, you can say carbon monoxide, the gases produced production? Of course, everything will use energy. So how can you define that?
Well, I think you raise a very important issue. So there is a price with the technology advancement, and one of those prices is that we now individually have created a very huge and very visible digital footprint. From everything we buy in Amazon to everything else we do when we browse the web. And there is concern about privacy, security, who views that data, and for what purpose. And that is a real serious challenge for researchers. If you look at some of the latest talks by Tim Berners-Lee, who invented the World Wide Web, you'll see that he is very concerned about how far we could move away from the original ideas of what the World Wide Web should be. So I think it is up to us collectively to be very mindful of that and to challenge, the, if you like, use of data without our agreement, without our knowledge. But there is a balance to be we have. I think that doesn't stop, the development of technology, but we should also be mindful that there is a price, and we shouldn't agree necessarily to pay that price.
Myself, Riaz, lecturer at FTMS. I just want to check potential of using of a whole system for the computation processing, how it supports for the green computing, like using of P4, Yoko to support for the computation processing, big data processing, like projects going on or something like how we can use the old PCs to processing this machine.
You old PCs?
Yes.
Right. So what do you mean in terms of how can we use them? Do you mean how do we recycle them?
It's like setting up the data center, making up the nodes, individual nodes, maybe to increase the processing power.
Oh, I see, I see. So, I mean, are you talking about parallel processing? Because that's a different research area. I mean, there is a lot of work in terms of parallel processing and how you can have a system where you have a range of distributed motherboards that collaborate together to generate power. But you won't be able to use the old PCs because the architecture in those motherboards and circuits are not compatible with the new architecture that is coming along. That's one of the problems. There's totally different architecture. And therefore, it is the old PCs, maybe even some of the components are not usable anymore. So that's why you get them recycled. Okay, it seems that we've killed the subject area. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed. And now we can proceed to the plenary session halls. Rooms 1, 2, and 3, or sessions 1, 2, and 3 are open. So you may go there, and after which, from 12 o'clock to 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. will be our lunch break, and you guys can be back here at 2:30 p.m. Thank you very much.